we all know our worth. So if you have a guilty conscience for charging, that's a personal thing.
That's a personal thing.
Yeah,
Let's talk about it.
I'm just saying.
Talk about it, Law.
Group chat, welcome back to another episode of Creatively Speaking. Y'all see, man, we had to change the scenery a little bit. Shout outs to Movement for the space and showing us love. We are back with episode 19. I'm one of your hosts, Cook, multidisciplinary storyteller. Pass it to my right.
Hey, y'all. It's Kadeja, a.k.a. Ligg. Where's my camera? Oh, here it is. We're in this new space, y'all. I don't even know which one's my camera. But, yeah, I'm excited to be back. Episode 19. You see the space. Yes.
Nah, this newfound energy right here. So shout outs to Movement for having us. But I'm J Law. Introduce myself back on the pod. It's been a little minute.
It has been a minute.
I have to also realize that now, like when Kadeja's camera's on her, I'm in shot.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like
We're all in shot.
The little jokes, like the ha-has, like they ain't gonna happen. They can get caught now.
They
Like,
get it all. They get it all.
So I mean, first and foremost, it feels like it's been forever since like we've linked up. Like, how have y'all been? Do we want to do is it like a Q1 catch up or?
I think it's worth the Q1. Yeah, I think it's worth the Q1.
How you feel coming out of Q1?
Q1 was interesting because that's where you try to get the momentum, and I'm talking for myself specifically. So, just shooting a lot of shots, getting those proposals in for the business side of my life. So, I felt like it was a lot of groundwork, a lot of things in the background, in the silence. I did do a mural. That was nice.
Yay!
So I did get some work in. I did a mural for that. So shout outs to, West Baltimore for having me. But other than that, like my mental is good. Just with my faith and everything, my health, getting my health together. Shout out to Pro.
Let's talk about it because you've been in the gym, my guy.
For real. Shout out to Pro.
Look like you just came home.
Come on. Shout out to my guy Rod for getting me right. Just trying to keep it like a lifestyle, not just a goal that I'm trying to reach. So I'm ready for Q2 for the momentum and things like that. But with the pod and everything, with CTLN, I'm loving it. I'm loving everything that we doing. It's time, man. It's time.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, Cook, go.
Oh, it's me. Okay,
yeah.
Yes. Man, Q1 was a lot of proving that I can do the work. A lot of things that were executed and got a chance to see through. But the biggest thing in proving that I can do the work, which I think of my 9 to 5 for that, was can I execute for us in the same type of light and ending the Q1 with like the live group chat convo. I felt like that was a catalyst I needed to know, like, oh, we got everything in place that we needed to be. And we could dive in a little bit more about that in the catch up.
Shout out to everyone that came out and supported.
Shout outs to y'all.
A vibe.
Shout outs to y'all for real. The group chat really, y'all popped out in person and made that something special. And I know we're gonna make some space to actually like review that in itself.
Sure.
But no, closing Q1, like I did do the whole Q1 WON because I felt like I came out with like a victory.
As you should.
Okay, WON.
You know what I mean?
He always doing something with words.
Don't even ask
He
me
loves
how.
some words.
A real lyricist over there.
Right.
Multidisciplinary storyteller.
Right.
Like,
you really need to get a shirt that says multidisciplinary.
I gotta get that. That sound like something that
with the
like
syllables in between each word.
Yeah, because Lord knows I need it. Like, how you break that down?
Nah, that sound like some CTLN merch dropping.
Hey.
But like honestly, I think that it's been a great run, a great start to the year. But between this and then some behind the scenes foundational work that's being done, it's like, yo, we got the motion, so I feel good. What up with you, Ligg?
Same as like putting shots up and seeing what happens. Also laying the groundwork. A lot of like rebuilding. For me, I really do think like I am that girl that my new year may start in the spring, because I feel like all of the winter time I'm really in my thoughts, really in my feelings, literally like trying to figure out what's going on. And then as the weather breaks, I'm really popping out. I'm really more social and things like that. So I feel like my year really started in March. Gotcha. So of course all the events and then the panel things that I'm doing, it's been good.
I like it.
Do we catch up on some of that type of stuff? Like you did close out and
before you even transition to that, I just want to say, of course we talk on the the pod and we have relationship outside of the pod and everything, but like what I've been seeing on social media from we had the little therapy session on a couple episodes ago. it's like you showed up, you identify whatever the problem was, and now you elevate to the next level. So I love to see it.
Yeah, it's the thing of like when you're in it though,
Yeah.
because it doesn't feel like you're doing the right thing, but you have to like hold on to the fact that okay, there's another side, there's a reason why I'm feeling this way, and now okay, are we gonna sit in this, or are we gonna execute and actually like change your reality? So I am grateful for positive mental health, because I know a lot of people don't have that and they can easily get stuck in a rut. So yeah, for sure.
Like that.
Man, I honestly, I think, I mean, and then again, I know, you closed the quarter on the panel. Shout out to
did.
you. It was good. I got a chance to pull up and see.
You did. I thank you for showing up and supporting. I love that.
That's fine.
And then you showed up for Law's thing too.
Nah, he really been on road. He really been on road.
Tired, but hey, honestly,
you gotta show up for your people.
You do, and I mean, honestly, show up for the ones that are building with you too. But show up for them in their spaces. Like sometimes we're like showing up for them is like, okay, we're all together now. How have you been? And that's cool. I think that is a part of it. And if you have that capacity, like if that's your limit, that's your limit, Right. But for me, it's like, nah, like these are people who I was telling Law, like, it's like, I started a show like watching us, and like you can see like the spinoffs of like everybody else and things.
Good
that are
ass
happening.
spinoffs though.
That joint is fire.
Shows.
Like I really look at it like we're like a Marvel movie. Like we link up as the Avengers, blockbusters, but then you got Captain America, you got like individual films, Black Panther, where you stay awake. You got
Let's leave that in Q1. Let's leave that in Q1.
You got all these things coming together, and I think that's what makes what we do so dope. Because even the other day, I went out to an event and I saw someone from Baltimore. It's like, oh, you with J Law, you CTC, okay, look at us. So I think the work is really starting to blossom, and nothing feels better than showing up for your friends and also capturing them too, because they can't do it with their moment. Like it's hard to get content when it's your moment to show up. So like you gotta pull up on them for sure.
I love that.
Absolutely.
But with that, I mean, can we quickly review our live group chat? Like how did y'all feel? What was the experience? Because we just did that. And we released the audio version prior to this taping. So how y'all feeling?
Well, I guess we need to tell the people what it was first and foremost.
Please.
Yeah.
I guess.
Oh.
I thought you was gonna set up for that. It sounded
wonderful. So,
oops,
that's me. So yeah, we had an event called the Group Chat, amazing live podcast experience where our first half of the day was slight refreshments. We had some amazing little snacks for the people. Then we moved into our live podcast where we had Ahmad Davis come up and pull up and drop some gems for us. We had a really full room, which I was really proud of, and they were engaged in the conversation. They had a live Q&A afterwards, and then the part that I was so excited about was like afterwards the people got to go and network and connect with our
camera shot.
You see it.
With
our Creative Connect game.
And it's real now.
It's really live in person. Yeah. Our amazing brand team spearheaded that. So it's actually like a real product that we got to see in action. Yeah. And the energy in the room was just amazing. People were connecting. I was able to float around the room, and then some of my amazing co-hosts were floating around the room, engaging with the people. And it was so dope. That's it.
I mean, I think she hit it on the head.
And that was the evening. Then I went out and celebrated.
Facts. We parked a lot of politics.
Exactly. Well needed. I think it's when you look at something and reflect, it's like, you got the pressure going, in front of it, and it's like, dang, how we going to do this? It's getting up. It's a lot of pressure. But after it's done, it's like, we really pulled this off. We really pulled this off. And I think the best thing was getting the feedback from the people. We do the podcast and people comment and they leave comments digitally, but to be able to have a live Q&A, to have somebody in the space, shout out to Ahmad, that's an expert in the music industry, what we focused on this time, I thought it was just great benefit for the people that came. So I think the main thing for us is like having the impact, and the people were able to get that feedback to give it back to us in a live setting. I loved it.
That for sure is my thing. I think with the pod, what I'm realizing is I love two-way communication. Exactly. So when we put something out there, a lot of times with social media, you don't really know. It kind of lands into the ether, and you get the likes and the comments, but I don't know if y'all just liking and commenting because it's us and us, and you're like, good job for being out there. Keep going. That type of stuff. But when you really are able to see the people and see the impact that you have potentially, or like the connections that people are having in real life, that's what fuels me. So yeah.
Nah, and I will add, like, I really love to hear y'all POV first, because like I'm taking in like even y'all catch up, like, because I know we really didn't do too much of a like debrief, deep dive, but some things like walking away, like you said, Ahmad was definitely an expert in his field of music, but I think that there was a lot of parallels for creatives to take in other lanes and fields too, like just in terms of like storytelling, developing like teams and what that looks like. So it was really dope to see that come to light. Also for me, I just want to shout out our entire team. I think it was just great seeing a collective execution of superpowers come together. So shout outs to Rube, who, again, I mean, if it was not for him making last minute changes, we're not getting the digital wall behind us, right? Or the signs that are printed out. Shout outs to Dez for the design as well on that. And even
being just, like a welcome greeter.
I mean, honestly,
what a face.
Dez is like the face of hey,
hello,
sir.
Yes.
Shout outs to Calvin, shout outs to Lou. And I mean, honestly, Lou was in them trenches getting the audio right. And if you hear the playback, crispy. So, seeing the team execution, I think was what really I took away, like, look at what we can do when we want to, and that was encouraging because, yes, we made this beautiful space for impact, and the feedback has been, y'all curated a space where people literally didn't feel like hierarchy, like it was a genuine space to build. And there were some heavy hitters in the room too, like in terms of careers. And so to create that space has been amazing, but more importantly, it looked like an extension of how we move as a team. So yay. I like that. And I think that's actually a perfect transition to this first topic.
Ooh.
Because speaking of building with your peers, Zeus Network
oh Lord
didn't get it right.
Let's get into the topics of the day.
So we showed you an example of what it could be.
Yeah.
Here's what has happened. So for those who aren't familiar, Zeus Network, which is a pretty popular network at this point, right? They have are pretty much having like foundational arguments publicly.
So hold on.
Millions of dollars off of brand deals. We all agree. Now at this point, I broke down my equity so myself, Batch, and Amanda could have even equity across the board, and we all became co-founders.
I met with Daystorm, King Batch, and Amanda Cerny, who were pretty big influencers.
Yes.
And we ended up, I brought them on board.
Lemmy was supposed to be behind the scenes as the CEO, and the three of us were to be the face of the network, myself as the president. In the coming weeks, we started a group chat, and the founders came up with a new name for the social network. Some of the names was trash. And then one day I thought, wait, Nike was a Greek god. They were successful with their shoe and apparel line. Why don't we name ourselves after a Greek god? Let's be Zeus. So then Amanda's like, I had a dog named Zeus. Shoot, I like it.
Daystorm actually came up with the name Zeus. We were strategizing and talking about different names.
Is that where Baddies is?
I think that's where like all of those types of shows
All
are.
of those types of shows.
I mean, when you say baddies, you know the genre.
Yeah, okay, got you.
If you like, how did she get a show?
Probably from Zeus Network. Got it.
I mean, no shade, all shade.
Yeah.
But I think so in that process, they had their founder Lemmy had essentially been like having public disputes with a lot of content creators. One that stands out that I know of is King Batch, as one of the people who, said that they were essentially approached as, hey, you'll be a founding person if we can use your following and your audience and your influence to draw awareness to this brand. And it was kind of used to leverage them as a content creators to create this platform. And now that it's popped off, the founder's like, yo, y'all don't own nothing. Like, I built this brick by brick, And now they're having public arguments. So there's like not a small clip. Like, what is it? Like 6 minutes?
5 minutes, 6 minutes.
So the gentleman by the name, the Storm Power. And this is a 10-minute video. So we're not doing that here. But I did get a chance to check it in some of the highlights.
We'll link it below.
Right, link it below. And just some of the highlights was like really saying, again, you leverage our celebrity to get in these rooms and spaces. And on top of that, they also then added financial support by reaching out to some of their peers and donors
and we're editing.
Leveraging their audience. And we're going to, essentially what we've been building, like, hey, we have different things and we're using our voice to also say, look at this place, right? But you're not recognizing us as people who have been a part of this from day one. And so we'd like to present that to the group chat to kick things off. Like, what are some of your thoughts on it, if you have any, if you're able to check it out? And just, let's jump into it first.
So when I seen it, I definitely felt like, how many times has this happened before? Like, how many times have creators been sold a dream, or like sold the pitch of, okay, if you lend your talent, if you know, help me out for building this thing, we both can eat. Yeah. And in the social media world, like, yeah, exposure, engagement, all of that is our currency. But a lot of times, I know me myself, I don't really look at it like putting dollar amounts on the table. It's really like, okay, I'm passionate about it, I'm in, and we'll figure the rest out later. So then when you hear horror stories like this, it kind of does make you hesitant and make you second guess, and you do understand why people gatekeep or like try to say, no, I'm just gonna build over here, because you never know. You might be working on the next Zeus. You might be working on the next Zeus net. Is that how you say it?
Zeus Network.
All right, yeah, you might be building the next Zeus Network and you don't even know it. Yeah. So what does it look like to put yourself out there consistently, still grow, still network, still be willing to, you know, put the bricks in without the payout immediately, at the same time covering yourself legality wise? And I know me myself, that's something I don't do well in. I don't have contracts all the time. I don't have like standard operating agreements. I'm all in sometimes, and I'll pay the price later. And when they got to the taxes part, that's when my eyes went like, oh shit. Because a lot of times I would just chalk it up to, all right, I got, I'll learn next time. Because I definitely got in my building of my businesses before. And I'm like, well, now I know. It's not going to be, I don't know if I'll take people to court, just because sometimes it's like, damn, I got to chalk that on the chin. Like, that's me. Yeah. I should have been smarter. I should have asked questions. So, yeah.
No, I think that's a good point to make, because even as creatives, like, we're not even looking at the fine print. You know what I mean? We trying to do it. Yeah, exactly. We want to get to the exciting part, the part that, you know, the people rave for. And I think it just shows you that no matter how small or how big you think an opportunity is going to be, you just gotta, you know, dot your I's and cross your T's. So, you know, even from a standard agreement, operating agreement, that you can amend as time goes on. So we reached this milestone. Okay, it's time for another one. If you don't want to renegotiate, then I'm out. And it really shows you your value to whoever you're helping out and things like that. So I think it just plays a part of, don't take any opportunity for granted, because, you know, people will come to you with an idea, and if you don't see the long-term vision, I'll help you, bro. Right. Like, it's cool. You know what I mean? But once you get to a point, we need Zeus Network now, and now founder,
you got your hands out.
Exactly. Or the founder is saying, I own this. You don't have nothing to do with this. It's kind of like a slap in the face. But also, I think people take it for granted in terms of the opportunities of, like, this is my one big chance. And I say this towards the founder in terms of, why are you treating people like this? You're thinking like this is your one big break and you can't do this again, or you're gonna, you know, break it up into pieces where it won't be none left for you. I'm a big proponent. If you can do something once, you can do it 1,000 times.
Exactly.
But that's if you can do it, and I think that's the big difference between people who actually can do it and people who kind of come out of that like, everything should be given to me. Why do I have to put the work in for a type of mindset? And the idea like, yo, like for me, I gave hits away in my career, like as a creative. Like it's been so many things that I can look back on and just see the seed and the tree that has become, and I just gotta be like, all right,
that's cool.
Like, good for that. Like good for that. Good to see that can still exist. So I know what I do does bring fruit, right? And so like,
but you see that mindset too, though. That your mindset is, oh, I did I
can do it again. I have so many ideas.
Right. And I think, you know, too many people move in a scarcity mindset, but that's also, again, there is a difference between linking up with people who you've been in the trenches and you've done the work with and you've seen them put in the work, versus going to someone that's like, oh, you hot. I don't know how you got there, but I'm willing to do whatever it can to support you. And then, like, again, you get people that are like, yo, I'll do PR for this such and such person, and all these types of people, or, you know, marketing and all that, when it's like, yo, you could actually built with your homies and been a part of something that you've seen from the ground up, you know? And I think, you know, one thing that does come to mind for me, more recently, I've realized, like, yo, as creatives, like, even coming out of that mod conversation, as creatives, as soon as you can, get a team. Like, and I say that from the idea of, yes, you do need to figure out your lane, but you also need to make space for what you're really good at to grow in that. And if there is something that's like a wall of, yo, this is almost distracting from what I actually can do. It helps to have someone else that's like, oh yeah, this is a light Tuesday for me.
Right.
Like I can do this in a small capacity, and what that looks like. But to Law's point, that's a lot of alignment and checking in. And I mean, transparently here, because they like, I see CTLN Network right now, like y'all talking right now, and Ligg already agrees she not getting a tattoo. You know what I mean?
I'm not doing it.
So it's like, what does that look like? But I think one thing that I will say as someone, as the person who's led in building this team, right, is constant check-ins. Yo, where do you what do you see in this? Where do you see as a part of this? And I know there's more conversations to be had. Like that doesn't expire. It's always like, yo, I can break this down however with you, because I'd rather get something like me owning 100% of nothing is pointless.
Exactly.
Like it's much better like to get a percentage of this. And once this becomes what it needs to be, I can run up something else somewhere else because of what we built.
Right.
And so it's like, how do you leverage what you do and grow off of it? And so again, to this gentleman who's running around and he's on. The other issue is they haven't gotten reimbursed and paid, and he's on private jets just throwing money out to the public. Like, if I do see that, I'm catching you something.
That's crazy.
Like, but he's paid for security and all these things, and that's a wild ride in the situation. But I think on the other side of that, as creators, it's like, yo, but if you know who you are too, keep going. Like you can't let that wall stop you.
That's what I'm saying about the legality part of it. Is like how many years they're putting into the court system, how much money they're fueling into that. I'm like, for me, the way my faith is set up, I'm like, well, that evil, I don't need nothing to do with it. I don't need to be on Zeus Network, obviously. God must be staring me another way. And I would lose money.
And
with
honestly,
my mindset.
I'm torn on that.
That's how I feel. I just gotta
like,
live my life like that, y'all, because
like
I lose some money before I lose my mind.
I believe
That's
that, but I'm also a proponent of stand up for what's yours as well.
That's facts.
But at the same time, how long has this festered? Like, I know we're hearing about it publicly, but you saying you haven't been reimbursed. Did you check in after a month? Did you have anything written? Like, it's a lot of
self.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's a lot of self accountability that you have to put into the point now where you're crying or you're, spreading the word now because it's gotten out of control. But were you there to try to control it when it was a smaller seed?
Right. What were you doing before that?
and to Ligg's point that I think is really true. Like, hey, I'm not pursuing evil. Like, if this is how you're moving in all of this situation, let me stand on, like, when it go crazy and it's like the what's that festival that Ja Rule and them did? That
the Fire
Fest. Like, when it gets to a Fire Fest level and now people are suing back and trying to get reimbursement,
you gonna get it.
I'm gonna hit you with I'm not a founder at all.
I don't got nothing to do with that.
Like, I'm not fighting that battle if this is how you move, because character comes back to you. And I think that the reality is why do I want to be attached to that anyway? Like, all right, I missed out on some bread, but I'm also
put
missing
my papers in to get my stuff moving, and if it's all right, well, it's above me now.
Right,
That's me, though.
Lord, I
ain't
hear
fighting
you.
too hard.
I'm gonna get out the way, and so you got to think, like, again, I think that puts the onus back on the creatives. Like, you know what are you gonna do with this next switch? Hey, we might be smoking this one.
Because what are we going to do next?
This will be our next
Guess
topic.
who's doing something different next?
So there's a young lady who
I thought we were talking about Broccoli City. My bad.
That's
My bad.
I had it. Let me listen.
My bad, y'all.
But there's this young woman by the name of, and I want to get it right, I guess it's 3D Nate. She's a creator based pretty much from the South. And she went 60 days in a van driving across country, and she renovated that, and she's a music artist, trying to get her artwork out there, trying to get her talent and grow. So she wanted to live for 60 days out there. She ended up doing mini series and having people come in the van and feature them there.
That's cool.
But then she did this recap reel just totaling how much it cost from living on her own, food and shower, how she lived out of a car and van, and having gym membership to shower, really did all of those things.
How much money I spent on my 60-day road trip after moving into a van, traveling across the country, and making music full time. I drove from Atlanta to New Orleans, through Texas, El Paso, Phoenix, and then up to Los Angeles, and I was definitely concerned about the gas. The most expensive was $101 out in Cali. I spent $1,414.74. Although I do have a...
And I ain't gonna hold you. It kind of is was a long ago passion of mine. when I came out of high school, I was like, I'm gonna drive across
Everybody
country.
wanted to drive across the
No,
country.
but I had the intentionality of driving across the country, and this is when I was still rapping. And in each city, I will connect with a different artist and kind of produce a project across the country. And when I got to the other side, we would release it, like
Isn't
whatever's
that
made.
crazy how like ideas will show up in other places like similar?
That's why you have to follow it when it actually reaches you. Like
Here it
if you
comes.
sit on it, someone else is
Gonna
going.
go float into the ether.
What's that?
I love
There was
that
a book.
idea.
There's a book
It
called
is
Big Magic.
Big Magic.
Wasn't that one of your
we connected about that?
yeah,
So
yeah,
the
I was about to say,
idea.
y'all got that synergy for that book before.
I love that book.
Yeah. So I think that's the likely the same space. So just one wanted to shout her out for this. She also mentioned she's going to be like doing like a Northeast trip, so we'd love to catch her if I'm in the DMV area.
Sure, you would love to catch her.
Relax.
Sorry.
Relax.
Go see what this young lady look like, y'all.
Hey, I mean, that's not wrong.
No, I'm just
But
saying.
I was talking.
You better catch her.
I got Law. You ain't see the research, huh? This is where I'm
You
in
better
trouble.
go catch her.
It wasn't even that chill. She just had a will alignment. She going through it. I don't know if she gonna make it here.
Go help her out.
But what I think it does a great job of is bringing people on a journey that they can support and like also putting it together content wise. So we'd like to like again, like, next topic of like ideas as content creators. Like how do you navigate telling your story in a way that's unique to yourself?
No facts.
I mean,
First of all, love her editing. Super dope editing. Also love. I'm trying to get into the bag of repurposing content too, because all of these shots are basically B-roll of her time over the past couple months. So she just thought about innovative ways to retell that same story, and she thought about, okay, what?
The research. Keep going, Kayla.
Innovative ways to talk about her story. So she added like the dollar signs and how much like each piece costs, because I'm sure that's like one of the main things that she's getting in her content is like, okay, how much did this cost? How did you execute this? Like, what was the backstory of that? So that's definitely the bag I'm trying to get into in this new season, because I have so much stuff that already exists. So how can I repurpose this, repackage this in a way that's entertaining and also tells the story from an aspect that is different?
That's it. Like, honestly, I almost want to do like even now, I know we captured some content on the way here, but I'm almost tired of capturing
Recording,
new content.
yeah.
Because the way the backlog is set up,
facts.
what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, there's mad things that y'all don't even know that has been done already. And to your point, like, I think she did do a great job of repurposing the story, but then also how she told the story, because I discovered it on Threads. I didn't discover it
Shout
on
out to
Instagram.
Threads. I need to tell y'all to get on
Threads is the place
I
for
keep
me. Like,
telling y'all.
honestly, I would say, and I say this because I don't want everyone, like every community doesn't need to come over to Threads, right?
Don't gatekeep
no,
the
not in a
thread.
gatekeeper way.
I think you can.
I'm thinking like it feels very.
You can't gatekeep the thread.
No.
I think we can. No. I think we should.
Wait, close the doors. I
said close the doors.
Nah, I think 100% like because it feels like the early form of Twitter for millennials where it's just conversational, like I saw someone ask me, connections. Someone asked the other day, so you guys coming on Threads with a strategy? I said, strategy, girl, get out of here. Like, get out the club. Like, we don't need another platform that the intentionality is selling.
That's why we ain't making no money now, y'all.
Like,
that's why we ain't making no money now. Because we ain't got no strategy.
They can't sue me.
God damn it.
First off, we did do the other day.
What we made?
We got the strategy. We did finish it. So,
wait,
I'm talking about the group chat.
Why we just finishing the strategy? We done had this thing for
No, I'm
months.
talking about the group chat.
Anyway, go ahead.
I'm here for the vibes.
I'm here for the vibe. Not be arguing on camera. Please, go ahead.
Look, they know how we got it out the mud. They still in the trenches.
Like, God damn.
Hey, man, trenches look better now. See us now, homie.
We doing it big.
But nah, I mean, like she did do a lot of repurposed content. One thing that I did see that she did too was like a lot of different singular location shots, but different framing, right? And the benefit of that, like that is something that
We get
is
into the editing talk.
Like, editor.
That's my bad.
Editor, what's up? Talk to us nice.
You see how the clips are like less than a second.
Yeah.
Too. Very fast clips. That's all I have to say.
But I think that's feeding into the world now too. You know what I mean? So just having that B-roll and a lot of different angles and framing from that standpoint, you don't need to record for 3 minutes in one area. You know what I mean? 30 seconds and you move into the next. And I feel like a compilation of those is what, grabs people attention and will reel them in for the real content. But one thing I love, like you said, repurposing the content, but she has a main purpose, and it's kind of like a pyramid. She has a main purpose, and different things feed off of that main purpose of her going across country, sharing her story and her purpose, but she's telling a story along doing it.
Right.
So it's like killing two birds with one stone. And I think that's just perfect in today's time, because I just think anytime you're trying to be an entrepreneur, or you have your own business, and if you want to be the face of your business, telling the story is a must. You got to, because so many things can come to it from a revenue standpoint, but also from a marketing and advertising of people finding out who you are, and they buy into the business, not just the product or service that you sell.
I mean, and like you said, like, even like as she's like, because she's talked about like going to purchase the gear, and it's like, the store that you stop at, like, that could be a really good opportunity of education. Hey, I went to music and arts, Sam Ash, like, shout outs to Chuck Levins, who helped support us in the group chat with some of the gear, and shout outs to Echelon Events too for coming through with the wireless mic. Sure. Yeah, I plug my
crispy,
for sure. Crispy, right? But like you said, like the idea of one, quick content. And I think that there was an article that I think you threw in the group chat about like how we're seeing the surge of younger generation following more content creators, and instead of like movie stars and big film things, right? Like the value really is in mobile TV right now. Like people are on their phones scrolling, and as much as we're like, hey, move to this platform, people are going to go where they want to be, right? Like, I think at this point, like, people have now chosen their preferred platforms. Absolutely. And either you meet them where they are with the content that you can produce, or you burn yourself out. I met someone yesterday that's like, yeah, I'm really trying to get to YouTube. And it's like, well, build where you are first, because YouTube is cool, and you can still drop these as shorts on YouTube, which do really well. Like I've seen like the shorts just kind of garner more following since we've now been in this season. But really leaning into mobile content creation and capture, there is so much opportunity for you to create on the go. And that's where you get the different cuts, the different pieces. And what's your thoughts?
I feel like I think we're doing a great job of telling people to record content and put their things out. But I know I'm going to take the what is it I want to say? I'm going to take the shield or whatever I'm trying to say.
Like the brunt.
Take the brunt of it that I need to do better at teaching people how. Because I feel like a lot of people are recording, which is great. But now it's like, okay, how can we optimize your content? Because, you're putting stuff out, but why is it not getting the attention, or why is it not I can't with you right now. Why is it not, really getting the attention? And I think it's a thing about style, it's a thing about editing, it's a thing about storytelling. Like, how can we do better and teach people like those types of hard skills on, okay, you have a video in your phone, how can we make this the best possible thing? I
think that's the area of opportunity for those of us who have figured it out to like educate. But
I got a controversial question.
Yeah.
Take it there.
So, like you said, why can't you do this, or how do you get to this? Is it possible for everybody to get to that point, do you think?
No.
Okay.
But I do think a lot of people have you're there, but maybe the font that you chose, or like the placement of that text, or like very like hard skills I'm talking about, like that people aren't using, or like what app do you use, simple stuff like that. Like, why did you cut it on beat, like how do you cut it on beat, like stuff like that.
Okay. The technical.
Because I think to that point, like there are people who want to go down that path, but there is no formal way. Like, we all figured trial and error, right? And I think that's where the doors can be open for the gatekeeping, right?
Yeah.
Like the actual educational side of it and what that looks like. As for me, sometimes I'm like, man, I'm still learning. Like, I don't think I've culminated enough to teach. But one thing that
you'll be surprised about. Sorry to cut you off, but you'll be surprised at how much that it's common sense to us that people have no idea.
That's the thing, though. What you think is common sense, it's a million people out here that don't think it's common sense, and even the people that you've seen that are experts that are having these classes or these workshops, they're still learning too.
Same.
So that was the one quote that I learned. I mean, I heard a while ago, and I don't think I've applied it yet, is, you don't have to be a master at anything. You just have to be 1 to 2 steps ahead of your audience constantly. Like as long as you're constantly,
Say that again.
yeah, I mean, like you don't gotta be a master of your work, but as long as you're constantly 1 to 2 steps ahead of the audience that you're teaching,
you're ahead of the
you
curve.
you can always educate and teach them. And I think that's really the goal, right? Like, you know what? Hey, I'm going to get y'all what I know so far, but I'm also not done. So you also might want to stay following me, like,
which is what the issue that I have with the teachers and the coaches of the world. Like, I would never, even though I probably should be, I would never want to put on that type of label just because I'm still learning. So I don't know if I would want to be like that person that people look in the room like, oh, she knows it all. I do not.
So that's so funny that you say that. And I know we talk a lot about like I think of the creative space as much as like sports in general, where it's like, yo, I feel like we star athletes in what we do. We're really good at it, you know, and there are coaches who've retired, like people who are like done that want to kind of teach others and help. But I definitely see us all in like, yo, like mentor like summer camps. Like, you know what I mean? Kevin Durant got a little summer camp, like, you know, Ligg summer camp for content creation, where it's like, yo, you get a chance to actually come underneath this star athlete who's doing numbers in the league, but they're only available this time out of the year. And yes, it should be something of, I think from our standpoint, and maybe this is again, we not getting the bread we getting right now. But I think like that is a like if we did like a content day camp where it is like, yo, come learn from us and all that. I'm not charging someone to learn that because I do want you to have these skills if you're trying to go down this path. But the idea is you also have to be intentional. You have to take the steps. Don't just register and just be on the email list. Show up if it's a 10 a.m. joint. Like, you got to show up just as much as I'm going to show up because I promise I will.
I think we
totally
should charge
disagree.
them.
What
you
disagree.
think?
I totally disagree. I feel like
I totally disagree. I love
I
it.
like this episode.
I totally disagree.
no, I just feel like you said, you're still learning, but you have done things that other people haven't. So you've shown up in spaces and you've mastered things that somebody hasn't. Now, nobody said that you have to be the teacher for everything,
right?
But you've gotten to a point where some people haven't reached, and I think when you have value in that, why not provide that to others? Whether you charge or not, that's totally up to you. I think we all know our worth. So if you have a guilty conscience for charging, that's a personal thing.
That's a personal thing.
Yeah,
Let's talk about it.
I'm just saying.
Talk about it, Lord.
He said,
Talk about it.
speak for yourself.
That's a personal thing. But if you want to learn how to do some
I'm never
murals,
going to tell nobody.
I got you. $450 a class,
Before
nigga.
you touch a paintbrush, my brother.
Come
better
holler
join my
at me.
next sipping paint.
Come holla at me. No, for real. That's real.
That's
So
love.
I just think it's really worth, teaching and providing that to others from that standpoint. And know your worth. Like, people are gonna pay for convenience, and they're gonna pay to learn something. Now it's up to them if they're gonna really use it, and that's the world today. You know what I mean? Even people that go to college, they pay for a degree. Don't mean that they use the degree,
Ooh.
but it doesn't mean that you
That's
don't.
dropping gems.
You're not gonna be a teacher because you feel like you're still in it. So.
That's real though, because I do want to come out with like not an ebook or something digital.
Sweating in here, man.
Hey.
Come on, man.
Hey,
I completely disagree. I completely disagree. I'm like, absolutely. But no, a lot of things that I'm thinking about, I should put into like some type of digital product that people can download. And it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. I think that's what it is for me. Like, I don't want to feel like anybody was robbed. And I think a lot of times when I look at the coaches or the classes, I'm thinking, oh my God, they know so much.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe this. I can't believe I get to tutor under them. And then I come in, I'm like, oh bitch, I knew that.
You feel me?
Oh bitch, what? Like, I'm thinking you're doing something out of this world. And I think whenever I do come up with a class or whenever I do come up with some type of resource, it's going to have to be, first of all, I need to empower yourself as a creative that you do know these things.
Yeah.
But you may not have the right words, or you may not know how to put it in the right, box, but you do have these skills. Let me Let me encourage you to stand in that, and then we can work with some of the other things that I found on the internet, girl.
And you know what's the nuance of teaching as well? A lot of times it might not be 100% new information, but sometimes that person just brings it out of you that you reveal to yourself.
Right, or you say it a different way that it clicks.
Just because you say, I knew this, or I could have did this on your own, could you have done that on your own?
Did you?
Right, because it happened when you was under my class.
You
feel me? Yeah. So I think that's a thing that people don't put as much value in as well, is just being in those rooms will bring it out of you, even if you feel like you already knew the knowledge.
That's real. That's real.
Nah, y'all smoking that.
I
I like that, and I think to your point, you know, in terms of what resources like what you provide people, I actually lost the whole thought I had,
fine.
but it's cool. We going because I mean we talking about you know what people have done, evolving, and what level we are now. Let's talk about.
I see what you did there.
Let's talk about Broccoli City.
I like that.
Hey, let's get to this. So for those who are tuned in the DMV, as that's where we are based, Broccoli City is I would say is a pretty big deal festival in this area.
sure.
It's like it's the only festival I think that here, because Something in the Water did a touch and go. Like it didn't really stay here. So Broccoli City, which has been going on for years now, they had announced that this year they are not going to be doing a direct Broccoli City, like it's not just like a Broccoli City fest.
It's not
like
what we
the
know
previous.
before.
They are paired up with the young man Breezy, Chris Brown, and his Breezy Bowl.
For Breezy Bowl.
And they're going to be doing Broccoli City Weekend, which includes on August 10th Breezy Bowl in DC, August 9th Broccoli City Block Party in partnership with Movement.
Crazy that we're here right now. Like, we're really tapped in.
If y'all need a stage host movement,
I'm about to say, should we do like a live pod?
I mean, we will talk to. We should talk to them about that.
We all can do some type of live painting shit, and now we're all there.
Hey, and we've done live now.
Hey,
we've done it. We know how to do
moving
it.
moving on.
And then,
Shameless plug.
I read this backwards. I did why is that interesting? That's interesting. August 8th is Broccoli City Trap Karaoke. So it's reverse date top down in this flyer. But
because you would want the Breezy Bowl at the top, I'm assuming, to kind of show the
That's a
power.
graphic conversation there, because there's 100% that makes no sense aside from the Breezy Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you could have just made it larger at the bottom, but that's just me and my brain. But again, August 8th, Broccoli City and Trap Karaoke, going to be a vibe. August 9th, Broccoli City Block Party with partnership with Basement R&B. And then on the 10th is the Breezy Bowl, which will be taking place at, what stadium is that?
Nationals Park.
Nationals Park.
Oh, wow.
Hold on, I thought it was at Audi Field.
What does it say? It's a national. Oh,
National Park.
Nationals Park. Oh.
So first off, can we
is
talk
anything
about
happening in the Audi Field? Because that's where they did the Broccoli City activation last year. It was Broccoli City Fest.
I don't see anything
Sorry,
that says
I think I just
Audi
assumed
Park.
that. Go ahead.
But that's a good question and point. But
Wow.
can we first talk about Chris Brown doing baseball stadium?
Baseball stadium is crazy.
Shout out to Christopher.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
I think he can do that, though.
I feel like he can.
I think he can do that.
I feel like he can.
No
And
doubt.
I feel like, I mean, but not only can he do it in terms of selling it, he can also perform that type of space.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you're like an art, like I don't want the rapper who's standing at the mic at the Nationals Park. Like you need to get to third base. Like, I need you to round third and give me a show.
Exactly.
So so shout outs to Chris Brown for that. But for Broccoli City, how do we feel about this pivot or transition, as it looks as though this will be their execution for the year?
So I think that festivals in general are taking a turn. First of all, shit is high.
Yeah.
Shit is extremely expensive.
Yeah.
Tariffs, man.
Right. First of all. And just something of this production across the board is probably hella expensive. So I'm not mad at the play.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure if they would have did it, Chris Brown probably would have headlined because he was somebody that was on tour. I'm not a fan of the two features that like the people that he's going on tour with. But that's just me. Summer Walker and Bryson Tiller. Because Summer Walker already seems like she don't give a fuck. That she don't want to be there. That's just.
But I think.
Go ahead.
I get what you're saying, but I think her type of music.
Vibes with that?
Yeah.
Sure.
I would put somebody. I mean, and I would put someone else was, because I've also seen her like live, and she can sing. Like, don't get me wrong, session 32 brings you to tears.
Amazing.
Every time.
But everybody doesn't need to be
the live one.
live performing.
No,
but
I get
she's and especially I think that's also another thing. Artists who are energy based are not the best ones to follow on tour. It's like, oh, I'm not feeling it today, because then you're like, bro. I just paid to come see
a lot
you.
of money.
No. like that happened at another show we were at. Like when like an artist came out hecka late.
Just drop it.
VA. Oh, it's family attached to it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, anyway,
Yeah.
anyway.
Like yeah, I mean, but it wasn't their fault. It was like again
It's just the
artist.
performance that you put on the bill.
And
It's
that's
just
what I'm
interesting
saying.
to me.
25, you got to stop booking those types of artists.
Or you
Like,
don't have to do that, sis. Like, you could just be at home with your kids, like, doing that thing, but your marketing... Anyway, that's not what we're trying to talk about. We're trying to talk about
She want a
Broccoli
bag,
City
too.
Fest. Tell her to stay her ass at home.
She better figure out
Janae
AI.
Aiko is already, like, doing some of the, like, the added ones that he had. Janae Aiko is on for Summer
I
Walker.
would go to see her.
I would be excited, too. Anyway, I would think that this Breezy Bowl would have more people on here that would be heavy hitters that... I mean, you could have did a whole R&B thing. But anyway, we're talking about Broccoli City and their decision to do a whole weekend. I'm excited. I think it'll be a different situation. I think they already were kind of not trying to do it from my POV. They were like trying to switch up the location. Then they had to do Audi Field. So it was a lot of things changing. So I'm excited to see this iteration.
And I was, let me just say this. Like, this might not bode well with the district. But there has been a lot of, like, just ungrateful behind the scenes of Broccoli City and what has been built. Like, as far as like the community, like every year they come out, it's why isn't this happening? Where is this at?
You know, people complain about everything.
Yeah, and if I'm them, I'm tired of it, right? And it's like, oh well, you know what? How do I show up for my people? But also, again, this also saves you some bread because now we don't have to book Chris Brown under our ticket.
Yeah, we're partnering with people like Trap Karaoke. We're partnering with Movement, with the Basement R&B. I'm like, look. It sounds like a very smart play, a lot of collaboration happening. I love it.
I mean, it sounds like they got out the way. I mean,
who coming? Chris Brown?
We built our name up where we can put it attached to things, and people will come not because it's. I mean, Chris Brown, he brings his own crowd,
right?
But not because it's Trap Karaoke. It's not because it's whoever. What's this one on the night?
Basement R&B. Is it R&B Basement?
Not saying that those don't sell themselves, but when you attach Broccoli City to it, it's like
now we all can eat.
Exactly, we all can eat, and I feel like it's a. I'm not sure if they're gonna pivot to do less things as time goes on, but it seems like they were able to leverage their name, and that just is a benefit of what you've been able to do for the last 7 to 10 years. You know what I mean? So. I love it. I love it.
I was talking to Ahmad about how much these artists cost. Like, crazy.
I mean, but what he was saying, when BX the Plug was stylish, charge him $20K for no shirt.
Exactly.
Like so if that's that person's pay, what you think
how much is that? Right. Exactly. $50K to step outside.
I tell you I'm the biggest, the largest. Like, what we talking about?
And I don't even know what other song he's singing. I'm like, what is that?
His album actually rock. I ain't gonna
imagine if the Broccoli City play this year. I don't know the logistics, but just imagine if they just did a licensing deal for each event that they're paying to use their name and their branding for the event, and they're not coming out of pocket for anything.
I mean, it's probably just an easy call. It's like, hey, we're doing a block party. Cool, bet. All right, we need a venue for Trap Karaoke. All right, cool. Exactly. That's all you need to do.
And
sell some tickets.
I think that is how we combat, because to your point, it's expensive to execute anything nowadays.
Yeah.
And not only that, but then you try to, like, you got to think, what does your recoup even look like? No one recoups in ticket sales. Yeah. Like, it's really rare that the tickets are driving what it takes to execute something. So you hoping to make that up in brand partnerships, sponsorships, and what that look like. We're seeing how corporate sponsors are rolling back DEI in terms of what they're
it's
funding.
A black ass festival.
So it's also like the pot in that regard has gotten smaller. But you're like, yo, all of us want to do something. So, yo, you know what? It makes sense. Hey, you want to do something? This is a perfect weekend to do it. Let's line up dates. Honestly, I mean, we're aiming for a similar play with Plus and Trust for our next group chat in the Black Music Month, where it's like, yo, hey, we can do something in the daytime that rolls into you, because collaboration, work with your peer group.
Gotcha.
If you are a dope creative and you are finding other dope creatives that you're inspired by, find a way to leverage one another, even if for a moment that it's like, okay, this is cool, now we can go back to our spaces, or this is dope, we can keep doing this.
I think especially in a space like the DMV where it's so much going on. It's everybody got a community, everybody's doing an event, and it's likely going to overlap on the same weekend. So why are we even fighting? Let's all get the people together for Breezy Bowl and figure out how we can all eat. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, so Broccoli City, creatively speaking, is happy to host any type of conversation or kick off something. You know,
I got a camera.
Media. We all don't see these Osmos.
Hey,
all of us strapped.
We would love.
You know, and that would be my pitch to them. But we are on an event. We are in a conference coming up.
Yes.
Oh, we
April
are.
18th.
We are.
And so,
damn,
man.
you're surprising me even with the pivots. I'm like, what are you talking about now?
Ooh, what's next?
What's next?
Like, see what happened when I prepare?
I love it.
I actually got time to do it now.
I love it.
But Black Women Marketers events. Shout outs to Black Women Marketers, more specifically, shout outs to Jasmine Gibson, the homie who has been. How many years have we seen her? Like how it's been like at least since 2020 that she's built this community of Black women marketers.
That's at least.
And so I mean, now here we are 5 years later, and this is actually their inaugural conference.
Yeah.
So just talk about like nurturing a community for that amount of time. Super dope. Super grateful to be a part of it. And I guess we should. What's the name of our panel?
Tell the people.
Collaboration.
Hey.
Creativity. Oh man.
Culture.
Yes.
That's me.
And the topic is see the vision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I wonder who came up with that.
It was actually her.
Really? Oh wow. I'm
yeah.
surprised.
You know what's funny? When she said that, I was like, oh, that's fine. She's like, I put on my cookout. I'm like, we can see it. We can see the brand. Hey, the brand is the brand.
You should really do something with that. I'm just saying, because coming up with names is such your thing. It's very hard for me.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's something that gets me stuck. That's why most of my shit is just my name, because I ain't got time. Like, I really don't got time.
I will say I'm pretty good at packaging like ideation, execution, and like how that can just be a simple field.
What stops you in your creative process? Because sometimes naming things stops me. What is your Achilles heel, law, and cook? My Achilles heel is definitely naming something so then I launch it. Is this a hard question?
No.
For me, it's like, does it make sense? Does it
you
hit?
get stuck in the strategy?
Yeah. Does it hit?
I think for me, it is it's the post work of putting it all together.
Ooh.
And like
packaging
this part
after?
Yeah, like packaging and like executing it on that side of it, because I like to be on the more creative side. Like once it's done in my mind, it's done, but now I'm sitting with it again and like I gotta repurpose and all that, and sometimes it's just like I'm not the best with that.
Sometimes it's the rollout too for me. It's like, all right, I want to do a podcast. All right, so how are we gonna like get the people excited about it? Anyway, okay, that was my little side question.
No, that's a fire question, and I will say like, this podcast has actually done more in terms of getting me beyond who getting out of my own way. Like us doing this has been a good catalyst for that.
Sometimes you just gotta do it, y'all.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show them.
Oh my Lord.
But so our panelists see the vision, culture, collaboration, and creativity, moderated by our good friend Crystal Carter. And
the one and only.
Really excited for this conversation. We talked about like, even doing like some type of giveaway stuff out there, but more importantly, it's going to be at Amazon headquarters on April 18th and 19th.
Yeah.
And our panel specifically is like 3:00, like, just because pull up for us. But I mean, and register because it's the Amazon building. And apparently security is super tight.
Yes, tight. So make sure you get y'all tickets. We got some promo codes for the people. We will share.
Yeah, we can bring it up in the comment. Like, we'll bring it up. We don't got to say it. We'll bring it up.
Because I don't know it. But we'll put it in there.
Yeah. But definitely would like to invite people out to come check out the Black Women Marketers Conference April 18th. Come see our panel, as that will be a really dope discussion. But more importantly, I think for me, it is us getting in our bag of, like, influencer posse type of group. Like, what we do is dope. Like, Ligg is a star to pull up and see, right? Like Law is a star to pull up and see, and you get a unique opportunity where we're all in the room and the beautiful thing I like about us is whenever we're in a room, we're always present. We're never above the room. You know. So anything that y'all got thoughts wise for Black Women Marketers Conference?
Please let us know.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, you talking about us in the room? My bad.
Like,
I thought you were talking about you, the audience.
Hey, but sure, y'all too. But my friends, anything before we wrap?
I'm just excited for the conference to be able to talk about our expertise. Shout out to the opportunity from Jasmine. It's dope, but I think just the conversation, the synergy. Of course we have the pod together and we work together, but it's outside of just the pod. And I think that's the dope part about it, because we get to mix a little bit about what we talk about on here, but also our own expertise and what we do in our own businesses as well. I think it's going to be dope.
Oh, and Crystal called it out. Like, literally, each of these C's are each of us. Like, there's culture, which is Ligg, creativity, law, and collaboration. I think I'm pretty good at. So it's pretty cool to like actually show up in our superpower. That's that's pretty much one of the things I would say for that. But there is one final conversation topic.
What is that?
Because we had a whole movie review not even 2 months ago.
Oh.
And that joint's on Netflix now.
Hey.
What you think?
I think it kind of took a long time but it had a great run. I have recently gotten really nerdy about movies.
Okay.
I watched this guy named Dan Murrell on YouTube, and basically he does like numbers with Dan. So he's basically tracking the movie performance from pre-2020 and post-2020, because theaters are taking a huge hit. So he's tracking like, are we tracking towards actually getting better and bouncing back? Hell no, we're doing a terrible job. But one of them days is actually did a really, really good job comparatively for movies, and I was surprised, and I think that's why it really stayed in the movies a longer time than what I anticipated for movies. I feel like they go straight to streaming so quickly, but they did a good job.
I mean, I'm interested in the fact that it went to Netflix.
Instead of what?
Like, I mean, just anything. Like, I don't even know if it, like, again, a release, like, hey, like Amazon Prime having all these other
But
things.
Issa has Insecure HBO
that's what I'm
sold
saying, like,
some of the shows, and including Insecure, to Netflix.
Oh, got it. So that's all part of the deal. So, but sorry to cut you off, but then Rap Shit got canceled on HBO. Like, Issa don't fuck with them. I hate that.
Yeah, Rap Shit's great.
Honestly, like, if I could ever push the Black broadcast networks that exist out there, pick up the Black shows that were canceled that have a fan base.
Yeah.
Rap
Because
Shit was good.
now, granted, I don't know the legality of ownership, and they're like, we own the name of this. But, I mean, like, I don't care. You call it, like, some other rap shit.
Do something. Bring it back. Because I need to know.
No, for real.
Ligg can tell you, I'm good at naming something. Hit me.
We can figure it out.
We will get something else for you, because there are so many shows. The show Grand Crew, I hated that got canceled. That one was like, for me, that had the makings of the show Girlfriends, but for Black men, which I think is like a real great dynamic, because we don't necessarily approach things
Not
in
at
that
all.
friend group, right? So I thought it was a great show. Another show HBO canceled, and I know I'm on a tangent right now. Once Upon a Time was How to Make It in America. Have y'all ever seen that show?
You be watching TV.
No, for real.
I do.
I'm like, what is that?
I realized the other day why. It's not only like because I am a storyteller, but
abandoned as a child.
First of all, both of my parents are in my life, like presently. Like, I can call them. All right?
It was just you on the television for a while, huh? I understand.
Uncle Phil was my babysitter.
Yeah, I understand. It's real.
But you can keep it on the group one. But I think that what it really showed me was one, you get actually other people's POVs and stories, like, oh, this group dynamic, like, it actually gives you a chance to learn from it. So that's why I like shows. Also went back to watch Smart Guy.
That's
really good,
it
right?
only has 3 seasons.
I never okay.
The first season's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, that's had more impact on my childhood than
they played them reruns a lot. They ran them things into the ground.
And again, I will absolutely be making sure we highlight Mr. Henderson for Father's Day.
Because,
dog, 38, 3 kids, 1 special. My brother in Christ.
Special as a genius, y'all. Not special as I'm like, damn, that special needs kid.
He was special.
He was a very special child.
That's
Sorry.
funny. But yeah, I guess that does make sense that Issa has to deal with Netflix.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess my tangent thought was like, I wonder if that's how Kevin Hart's going to do some movies that go straight to Peacock because of his partnership. with them.
Have y'all seen Lil Kev?
Yeah,
No.
I watched the first episode.
What'd you think?
It was cool. It was cool.
I feel like his voice acting. Anyway, it was cool.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
cool.
it was
His
cool.
voice acting was off, and Wanda Sykes' voice acting was even worse.
Yeah,
That's
it was.
terrible.
Yeah,
didn't hear
it was cool. I don't know if it's just I'm an adult and I'm just because it's a cartoon.
It's an adult cartoon though.
It is. I just couldn't connect. I don't know.
I
You
feel
know
it.
what adult cartoon? I think we should have boycotted or protested more.
Good times.
Yes, that show was trash.
I never saw it,
I ain't even
but I
watch it.
heard it was
It
terrible.
was
Why
not
would you
only
even?
terrible,
Who gave you the IP to do that?
Yeah.
You like literally took all the good times
What's
and
his name again?
stereotype it.
Seth. Is that his name? What's
McFarlane.
that
Oh,
man?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. Oh yeah, he was
Yeah.
he was the producer.
He was the
But Steph McFarlane
Oh, that's what you
Seth
meant. Seth
MacFarlane.
MacFarlane from
was the
Family Guy.
yeah.
Yeah, he was a part of. Yeah,
He
that-
created it.
Oh,
How
okay.
did we let him get see,
Questions that need answers.
Back to
questions that
gatekeeping.
need answers.
Back to
No, for
gatekeeping.
real.
This is why we need to do it more. Close the doors.
Yeah.
Close the doors.
You know.
Facts.
But with that, I think this has been a great episode, friends.
No, facts.
Y'all got any resources for the good people out there? You know.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
I got.
What I got?
I got one.
Go ahead, Ligg.
All right, y'all. So, this is the part of the show where we give you resources, something that you can take into your daily life and go be great. Go be great.
Please.
So mine is ViralMango. It actually is a platform where, for free, you can create your media kit, girl. So, you're an influencer, and you need to tell the people all of your stats in one place, and they actually had an update. So apologies if I already dropped this one, but I went to go check, and they have an update, y'all, and it's super, super cute. So go make your influencer dreams come true. Go create on ViralMango.
Oh, that's fire.
That's
That's
super
fire.
fire.
I'll go next. This is kind of like a tip on Instagram. I don't know if people know this, but shout out to my guy Ime.
Shout out to Ime.
Shout out to Ime.
He's cool.
The best drone photographer, storyteller that I know personally. But he told me about resetting your algorithm on Instagram, and it has changed my whole trajectory of being a creative. And before, I'm a come clean. You got them group chats. You got people sending you everything from memes to
Big
the
booty
filth
bitches.
to. I know.
He had to get the big booty bitches out of his timeline, y'all. He's
So
trying
the
to lock it
things that
down.
just don't matter. That is crazy.
Trying to get this.
He's trying to get his mind right, y'all.
J-Lo gonna lose phone privileges for a week.
I'm so sorry.
This might have to be the Patreon episode. Just
I'm
for
so
that
sorry.
comment.
Shout out to my girl, though.
Shout out to my girl. Is crazy.
That's ridiculous. Let's get on. Let's
I'm
get
so
focused.
sorry.
Let's
I'm
get
so
focused.
sorry.
Let's get focused.
So let's reset the algorithm.
Yeah, exactly. Let's reset the algorithm. But I'm it's interesting because like me being an artist, a creative, all the things after I reset the algorithm, I guess it's based on your interest that you tell Instagram when you first sign up. But when you reset it, I'm getting called for artists for murals around the country.
Wow.
I'm getting grants. It's like speaking to me like it's crazy.
I need to do that.
Yeah, we gotta walk
You
through
really,
that when this
yeah,
episode done.
Facts.
we got to walk through how to do it because I do know, but I don't know it off rip. But
Okay, that's fine.
We'll drop it in the comments.
Yeah, with
Exactly,
step-by-step instructions, because I need that.
no, for real, it's been a game changer for me in 2025. And so many things have came from me applying from residencies. It's really crazy, but I recommend the people do that.
Do you feel like it even helps with your screen time? Like, do you feel like you're not sucked into it as much? And
Okay.
like you're there. What? Sucked into it is bad? Was it the sucked? I'm sorry. Because of the
For
BBL
me,
bitches. I was being dead serious.
For me, let me answer your question. For me personally, the screen time is not based on the content that
Okay.
I'm observing. Screen time is literally just a reflex of me being on social media.
Gotcha.
So it really doesn't.
It doesn't help.
This man is going off over there, but
Because I'm just thinking, you got the brick.
Oh, the brick. The brick.
okay.
Okay, anyway. Go ahead.
Next,
I'm sorry.
exactly. We're off this. Reset the
I'm
algorithm.
so
though.
sorry.
Reset the algorithm.
Nah, we gotta drop that step by step in the comments. And our resource for the marketers
Absolutely.
event. I realize people are resources.
Yes, hell
and,
yeah, they are.
So a creative that I would encourage you to follow is go by the name of This Is Nikki's.
I follow her.
SISNICKYS. And I recommend her because, I mean, you want to talk about someone who's like always showing like how to capture content, like how to take the moment in real time. She literally just said like, I did a month's worth of content at one day conference, and this is how I do it. And like she walks you through the AI tools she used and the programming and even some of the actual gear that she uses to get through those things and capture the content. So I definitely recommend following her. That's a free resource, and she gives a lot of games. So
a lot of like hands-on
I would say
things
like that
too.
is the that would be my resource for the week. So
Absolutely.
this is Nikki's. But with that, it's another dope episode of Creatively Speaking.
Sure.
You know, group chat, we appreciate you. I realize I'm on this camera now, so let me actually look at my good folks over here. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Absolutely.
As y'all can see, we growing. We trying to get better. And K-Ligg, you can wrap it up.
Hey y'all. All right. Thanks for showing up for the last part of the show. Usually this is Cook's part. So make sure you follow us, subscribe. Make sure you're tapped in to us on Instagram, YouTube, all of the things. We're also on Threads at CTLN_network. Yeah.
Peace.
Bye.